actually going live at the moment without my guest, Natalie, simply because I made a promise to Facebook that I would go live within 10 minutes, and Natalie's just having a couple of little technical difficulties. So I thought I would come on here and start the line live anyway. Now, she's just messaged me to say she's not sure what's happening. So she is on her way, but in the meantime, why don't I have a talk to you about commitment and showing up in your business? Okay, so Natalie is quite an interesting case. Now, even though Natalie does not own her own business yet, doesn't mean that she won't in the future. She has actually got herself an ABN, which is the Australian business number, so that she can be in business for herself. But at this stage, she hasn't taken the leap. And that's quite okay, because sometimes people either don't want to take the leap, or if they do take the leap, if they do want to take the leap, they're just a little bit unsure of actually making the move, okay? Natalie is an interesting case. So when I first met Natalie, it was last year, and she was in quite a difficult spot. She was a mum, and her marriage was pretty much on the rocks. It was pretty much over, and she wasn't doing terribly well in her job. She had been told basically by her boss that she wasn't cut out for the position. It just wasn't right for her. So she had a lot of security issues going on. She had no stability in her marriage. She had no stability in her job. And she really didn't know what it was that she was going to do next and how she was going to get herself out of the deep, deep hole that she actually found herself in. Now, I said that we still haven't got Nat, so I'm still just going to check and see how she's going. She said that she doesn't know how far away she is, but hopefully she will be here soon. All right, so, and she'll get to tell you all this when she actually does come on the live. So Natalie saw our post, and she answered it. I got onto the phone with her pretty much straight away, and we had a discussion about where she was and what she was doing and what was happening for her. And she knew instantly that something had to change. She had to do something differently to what she was doing currently, because what she was doing currently simply was not working and was not serving her. And so she jumped on board for what we call a breakthrough. Now, a breakthrough is actually a process which we do one-on-one with our clients, and it's about 8 to 10 hours long. And what we do in that process is we actually dig deep into the unconscious mind, and we firstly work out exactly what it is that's stopping you and what it is that's holding you back from being able to go out there and create the life of your dreams. So I'm talking about negative emotions such as anger and sadness and fear and hurt and guilt. We find out the absolute root cause the very, very first time that you actually experience this, because it is vitally, vitally important that if we're to remove these emotions from your unconscious mind permanently, that we get right back to when it all began. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is most of this stuff actually started before the age of 7, because before the age of 7, we don't actually know what is real and what is actually make-believe, okay? So let's just say before the age of 7, someone in authority, your parents, an authority figure, a teacher, someone told you that you weren't good enough. And let's say you heard that 3 or 4 times before the age of 7. Then the chances are, and let's face it, most of us probably did hear that before the age of 7 because our parents didn't know any better. But chances are you've downloaded that as truth and gospel, okay? And so in your unconscious mind, that has been stored. And what actually happens then is it's your unconscious mind's prime directive to protect you. And it honestly thinks it's protecting you by playing that same pattern over and over again. That is why you can end up going through your entire life believing that you're simply not good enough, or you're simply not worthy, or you're simply can't have what you want, you don't love yourself. For me, it was I wasn't wanted. That's what I believed, and I downloaded. And so I do all kinds of crazy things. I'd deliberately self-sabotage relationships, and I would push people away before they had a chance to push me away, which in hindsight they probably weren't going to, but I believed that they would do. So anyway, Natalie was in a situation where she was really, really unsure about her future and what it was that she wanted to do. And so she jumped on board for a breakthrough. And we actually helped her firstly identify exactly what it was, exactly what her limiting beliefs were. And then we actually helped her to remove those permanently from her unconscious mind. This gave Natalie a sense of confidence and certainty. And So much clarity. She actually ended the relationship that she was in, the one that should have been ended quite some time before. And she went back to work with a new attitude. Shortly afterwards, she started climbing the ranks of the corporate ladder. And within 6 months, would you believe, within 6 months of doing the breakthrough, she was a completely different person, completely different psyche, you name it. And she actually made number one in her company. She was actually the number one person in her company. Now, I'm not quite sure when that is. She was supposed to be on here with us doing this, but never mind. I'm sure she'll comment and she'll confirm everything I'm saying here. All right, so she climbed from being told that she wasn't cut out for the job and probably about to lose her job. Oh, I can see her just come up, so this might be good news. This might be good news. She's here. Let's bring Natalie on, shall we? Hang on just a second, Bub. We'll just get you on here. Hey, here she is, the famous.
Sorry about technical issues.
Not a worry. Hey, you're here. You've made it. I've just been on here telling everybody your incredible story. Okay, and I've been telling them all about it. So, but I want them to hear it from you, Nat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just backtrack now. They've heard half the story, so they're going to be hanging on their chairs waiting for the rest of it. Okay, so
Okay, cool.
all right. So, all right, Nat, give us an idea. Like, where were you at before you saw my advertisement and my post? Where were you at in your life?
Okay, I was like a lot of people. I mean, when I first signed on, I was in full denial of where I was and bits and pieces like that. I mean, my relationship, it was dead, but we didn't have any gut. We didn't have the guts to call it. I was struggling and second guessing myself with every decision I made because I let basically everybody else determine my self-worth. And I got to a stage where, I was just doubting myself. My confidence was just in such a downward spiral, But fundamentally, I was doing okay. I mean, I had 3 real brilliant kids. I was working. But what people didn't realise is that even every day at work, my manager would come up and say, you know what, I don't think you're quite right for this. And, as a result, my work results reflected the opinions of everybody else that I let in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I just saw myself getting deeper and deeper and deeper into this well. I mean, I could kind of see out of it, but, I just didn't know how to actually physically get myself out of where I was.
Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome, good. Okay, and we do actually have a lot of our clients that get into the same spot, whether they're like you, they're in a corporate job, or whether whether they've taken the plunge from the corporate to their own business, or they have their own business, and they just get so down, they just get so deep into the hole that they just can't seem to see the way out. Okay, so you saw our post, you connected with me.
Yes, I did.
Tell me what that experience was like the first time you spoke to me. What was that experience like?
Well, look, like most people, you're feeling some of these things. You think this can help, but if not, at least it can't get any worse, sort of thing. So I just filled in the info, and then suddenly I got you on the call. And with the questions that you asked, it was like, you know what, you get this, and maybe this is going to work for me. So just from the connection we made, the conversation we had, where we went right into everything. It's kind of like, well, you know what? You care about where I am at the moment, and you care about getting me out of where I am. So it's kind of like, you know what? I'm all in.
Cool. And you absolutely were. You jumped in feet first, which was amazing. And it's so great when somebody actually sees the value in themselves and sees the value in the process, so that they know that, do you know what, they've got to go all in, they've got to go and play full out, and they've got to give this everything they've got, because as you said, things couldn't have got much worse than they already were. So, the only way is up, really, isn't it?
But the big thing about that was actually acknowledging the role I played in how I got to where I was. I mean, as much as I let everybody else's opinions affect me, at the end of the day, I was where I was because of things I did or didn't do. And frankly, not changing would have been easier. But then, I wouldn't have the life I have today if I just kept it going the way it was.
Absolutely. And that's exactly it, Natalie. It is often much easier just to stay where you are and not actually, do the work to make the changes. But, oh, honey, I mean, honestly, when you actually do make those changes and you do the work, isn't it magnificent? Isn't it just absolutely incredible?
I think I was, I had a lot of victim mentality where, yeah, this happened, but it wasn't my fault. This happened to me and this caused this. And you know what? No, I let that happen.
Yes.
And it
Yes.
took, and that's hard for a lot of people to actually stand up and say, you know what? Yeah, okay, this happened and this happened, but you know what? I let it. Or, it was how I reacted that exacerbated the whole scenario. It's all about taking ownership of your part in where you are, because, we're not all passengers in this life, Nobody can force you to do anything you don't want to do. And ultimately, the only person you're responsible for is yourself. So, you've
That's
got to
exactly
take ownership,
right.
and that was a massive thing.
Yes, absolutely. And that's one of the things that a lot of people do struggle with. They're so caught up in I did this because of this person or this reason or this scenario or the economy's bad or, the competition's really tough or anything like that. And they need to realize that, they are responsible for everything that happens in their lives. Everything is their choice. Everything is their decision. Everything is their belief system. And
Even
quite
not
frankly,
making a decision is a decision.
it is. It is, ghosting somebody. I saw there was a post on the Women's Entrepreneur Network the other day about ghosting people, okay? People don't ghost people, all right? Like, finish the situation, resolve the situation. Don't ghost people. And,
Let's be adults, people.
sorry, Nat?
Let's just be adults about things,
Exactly. Be adults, resolve situations, fix situations if they're broken, or take the action you need to take to sort your mindset out. Because, Natalie, tell us what happened when you did that.
Okay, well, my breakthrough was a bit of a lengthy process because I kind of got scared and backed off a little bit thinking, hang on. But then it's kind of like, you know what? Okay, I've processed this far. Let's get the rest of it done. But since that time, I mean, my results at work instantly picked up. I mean, the relationship I call time on, and we're so much better as co-parents than we ever were as a couple. So that's working well, and the kids are fantastic. In fact, I've got one kid going into senior high school and looking at, higher level and being selected for all the higher level subjects he wants to do. My daughter's in the gifted education program, so she's flying through. And my youngest bloke, he's racing through third grade and loving it and doing a lot better than a lot of people anticipated with things he's got going on. I mean, I'm still working in the same job, but I mean, I've gone from a person who was really struggling and not making the grade to actually 3 days ago, I set a sales record for a day.
Tell me what it was. Tell me.
Well, in my job, I'm an insurance agent and I deal with sales. And on Monday, I achieved 12 sales in my 5-hour shift, which is absolutely huge. Because this is in between. Sorting out cancellations, working out direct debit issues and bits and pieces like that. So, when you're spending on average 10 to 15 minutes on a call and you're getting one sale better than one sale every half an hour in that environment, I mean, that's pretty cool. So, and also on Tuesday, I mean, every year, the top performers in the company get invited to a national conference. It's usually somewhere the Winterwood, Sundays, Gold Coast, Great Barrier Reef, somewhere up there, right? And I'm on the short list for the next trip. I'm on the short list for the next trip.
Awesome, girl. Fantastic news. That's amazing. I know you want that. I know you want that bad. Well, Natalie, that's amazing.
Well, no, it would just be nice. And, I get the managers high-fiving me now when I walk through the office. People are commenting on my change of attitude. And, I just said, well, here's the website, go look it up. And, and I'm even training people on how to do my job because they're looking at me well, how do you do it? It's just kind of there's nothing special to what I do. I just sit there, I listen, but my attitude is such that, you know what, nothing's going to stop me achieving any of my goals. I mean, I do have my bad moments, but they're exactly that. They're a moment. They're not a bad life. They're not a bad week. They're not a bad day. It is just one particular moment in a day full of great moments. So that doesn't bother me. Some days you're going to hit target, some days you're not. But at the end of the day, your attitude will determine how you go. Because if you walk in saying, oh, yeah, this isn't going to work, this isn't going to happen, this isn't, then you know what? You've told the future. You've worked it out exactly what's going to happen yourself. But if you just say, hey, you know what? I'm going to take this opportunity, and for people to throw me a bit of a challenge, you know what? I'm going to talk them through. I'm going to get over whatever hurdles I need to get to do the best for my customers and to get them to see, the value in what I'm doing, and they're going to jump on board. And quite a lot of the time, that's exactly what happens.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Absolutely. It really is. Now, we've got a couple of people on here. We've got Nandy. Nandy gives you a round of applause. Yeah. And the lovely Chrissy. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Chrissy. Yes. Thank you. I am awesome. I know I'm awesome. And so are you, girl. Okay. And so is this Natalie. Okay. So I have something to share with you about Natalie. Now, Natalie is so freaking awesome. I tell you what, she's so freaking awesome. I'm so blessed with what I do that I attract these absolutely gorgeous souls. I really do. And I get to build this amazing tribe around me of these just beautiful, beautiful women. And sometimes when I see a little superstar, just like my Natalie here, I go snap. And the beauty is that Natalie is actually coming on board with me to the Tall Poppies Rising team, just part-time to start with, okay, in my customer amazement role. We'll call it that, the customer amazement role. So that's actually customer amazement role. I like that too. So Natalie is officially the customer amazement officer. There you go. It's named here on the live. And Natalie is your girl if you are interested in, jumping on board with us at Tall Poppies Rising, because, life is way too short not to just go out there and smash the life of your dreams and get everything you've ever wanted,
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, Natalie's also currently, sorry, Nat, jump in, babe.
And this is because of the direct result of of the work that Manny does and the programs that she run. I mean, if I didn't believe in them 130%, I wouldn't be jumping on board. But you know what? I'm along for the ride, and I'm loving every moment of it.
It is, yeah. Natalie's also, she's also attending and also helping me to facilitate our current 15-day Mindset Abundance program. If you are not registered, you have missed the boat, I'm afraid. We are not allowing any more people into that, so you have missed the boat. However, there is a sneaky back door if you want to know. I have been very blessed to be given the opportunity to work hand in hand with the beautiful Hayley Gray from the Women's Entrepreneur Network. And I am rerunning the course for her network only, exclusively for members of the Women's Entrepreneurial Group in November. So we will put the link to the group if you want to be on that training, because, Natalie, tell them what the training's like. Give them a go. Tell them what it's like.
You know what? It's absolutely amazing, and it's just little small things that you adjust which can make a huge amount of difference. I mean, none of this involves massive adjustments. It's all just little bits and pieces that you can do, which is really easy to fit into a day. I mean, I'm a single mum of 3 and I have 2 jobs, and and it fits in with my schedule really easily. And you know what? I feel so much better simply from the mindset tricks that I've learned while doing this course. That, it's just making everything seem a lot easier.
Awesome, exactly. So if you are part of the Women's Entrepreneur Network and you haven't jumped up and got your seat yet for November, make sure you do. If you are watching this live from Tall Poppies Rising, you guys missed the boat. However, the back door is open if you go and join the Women's Entrepreneurial Network. Okay, that is the way in. All right, but get on there because we are expecting a huge turnout for this. The Women's Entrepreneur Network has a membership of 62,000, and we are expecting at least 1,000 people in the room. So if you want to be in that room, if you want to be part of the most epic thing that's going to happen in November 2019, then you need to register and you need to make sure that you've got your seat, because they aren't going, they are moving, and you don't want to miss out. We will have to cap it at 1,000 because, I'm only one person and I've got a team, obviously, but I will need to cap it at that number because otherwise I might actually really go crazy. Okay, so, all right, great. Look,
But in the meantime, if anybody wants any other information about Tall Poppies, just hit me up and I'll be happy to talk you through the whole thing.
Absolutely, that's exactly it. So it took a bit to get Natalie on today, but that's all right because we're just trying this new system out. So this is actually streaming that in 5 different places right now across the internet. Would you believe 5? How amazing is that?
Oh, wow, okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. Hey, yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you for being here, Natalie. Thank you for sharing your story. It's so amazing to have you in my life. It's so amazing to be your friend, and I'm just honoured. I am just honoured to be
Absolutely.
with you, you know, and just and let's just take this to the reef, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. All right. Thanks very much for everyone listening. Women's Entrepreneur Network members, the banner is up the top of the page, okay, if you want to register for the event. Okay, don't miss this, okay? Do not miss this opportunity, because we get like 3 opportunities in our lives to really make it. And what if this is one of them? What if this is one of the things you need to do to be able to take your business to the top? Okay?
And you have
Get
no
on
idea
there.
what this can do for you. I mean, seriously, if you're in doubt, just try it. You've got nothing to lose.
Absolutely, it's free, and you'll be getting me live, okay? So make sure you get your registration, get your seat, okay? All right, that's it. I'm out of here. Thank you so much. I will be back on the Women of, well, everywhere at about 9:30 tonight, so I look forward to seeing you there. So that's 9:30 Brisbane time, which is 7:30 p.m. EST, and different times around the world. But I'll be bringing you an epic live, and that will be announced shortly, okay? So we'll see you guys soon. Love to you all. Bye. Stay there, Nat.